Itefu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Musum for you tiada wani indue nyina be woso ebeka bekpa turu bakpa sembala kodom. Well, I'm about to respond to one guy called Saidu on Maame Grace show. Inshallah, you can tag Maame Grace because ours is to clear misconceptions and ours is to educate the masses. Our target is not the main figures who are speaking in the video. Our target is to help our fellow brothers who do not understand Islam to understand Islam much better. Inshallah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook and also on TikTok. And Rebecca is the slogan, inshallah.
Zana Company Limited wo. In fact, uwe goodie, uwe copper, uwe silver, uwe gold. Our person will see no. When electroplating, when baby ako against Zana Company Limited. Uwe goodie, our person won't understand your pay. When the silver chain, when the golden chain, when the golden ring. Then our person when you know Zana basis no any amount. In fact, one organizes sports, open cup, and open medals. Be there to omukomu. Zana Company Limited. Bet to me I any kind of jewelry at all. Zana Company and a young wejuma. Zana ewa himfa. Here Zana ewa nungwa behind Fidelity Bank. Raviko ewo and a Zana ewo. Number 7 for Zana 0240 481 568 0240 481 568 and 0248 42 44 93 0248 42 44 93. We are Henny, we are Penny, we are Goody, we are Catesia, we are Bugger, we are Golden Chain, or a wrist banner, or then one, a gold, copper, silver, a jewel in Quadia. Quayo Pesa Yensi, no for more Biarano, about to me, I Ediamo, and say contact Zana Company Limited, now Omamwao, inshallah.
They teach the children to greet good afternoon in the private schools. So they're going to forget my mom, I have my mom, Ajo.
Is it that sometimes Maame Grace love to be lied to, or she love to listen to such people so that she uses to ease her stress, or it is like these people always come to lie to her and play with her innocence? I've been asking myself this. In every school in Ghana here, they teach what we call the local language. In Central Region, we do Fanti. In Greater Accra, they do Gan. In Volta Region, they do Ewe. In Northern Region, probably Dagbani. So the language that is dominating in that region, they study it in schools. So I went to school in Central Region and I can read and write Fanti. Memomajo, Momoachi, Okusukurum. I speak Fanti than even some Fanti people. You understand? And again, there is nothing wrong with learning other people's language. It is to help you understand yourself when you travel all around the world. For example, the Akan language, the Twi language does not cross border. Dagbani does not cross border. Once you cross Togo border or Cote d'Ivoire border, probably Organ does not also cross border. Most of the Ghanaian language does not cross border. The language that crosses border is majority Wangara, which you call Jula or Dafi, or Tim Kutukoli, or this one Hausa. These are languages that has been crossing borders. For example, when you cross Togo border, if you speak Hausa, you have people that speak Hausa over there. It is common. People are Kotukweli, they speak Hausa. You cross Aflao, you can speak Kotukweli, you are good to go. You cross then Ewe, you cross Aflao, you can speak Ewe in Ghana, you can speak Ewe in Aflao. So learning multi-languages help us to understand each other. It helps even our businesses to grow. That is why we have export and import businesses. For example, if you want to do export, you want to export your commodities to America, and you learnt only 3 languages, you don't speak English, what language will you speak over there? So sometimes we learn these languages as core languages so that when you travel around somewhere, you are able to communicate with them. Similarly, for example, you are speaking English right now, but you're not speaking Dagbani, or you're not speaking Gonja, or you're not speaking Mampurusi, you're not speaking Dagati, you're not speaking Wala, you're not speaking Jula. I don't know your tribe. You're not speaking probably Wangara. You understand? Because you cannot communicate with Maame Grace. So English became the core language between you and Maame Grace. So you are able to speak the English to communicate with her. So if we are to abolish the English language in our schools, what language will you speak to Maame Grace now? Sometimes you guys must reason deeper before. Your elders that brought English language in schools are sensible than you are. With your 1 kilobyte brains, you cannot understand certain things. You need to be broad-minded to understand these things. Now, in other schools, they learn French. Some are learning German for communication's sake. Your brothers are out there in Europe. Ask them why they are learning other languages. Let's just reason. The Chinese are even learning Chi today. They are learning Hausa today. You have white people that speaks Chi today. It is nothing. Learning someone's language helps you to know the person better, to communicate with the person better. And it is even for self-defense and for protection. Let's assume I learned how to speak Dagbani, and I came to Northern region and other people are planning to kill me in Dagbani language. If I hear it, I protect myself and I run away. It is good. Let's listen to him and then come.
By me, Mama, Ajo is the same thing as Salaam Alaikum. Ajo means peace. Asumdwe. When you want to enter a house, you say Ago, Ajo. And Gonja will say Gafrenche. When you step on somebody's toe, you say Gafra. Gafra, that means peace.
These guys come, sit down, and they come and sit down and they play with languages and try to tackle themselves with, let me say, certain belief system that they themselves, when you put them into corner, they don't understand. If me mama ajo means salamu alaikum, then me mama ache means what? Me mama ajo means salamu alaikum, so me mama ache means what? Salamu alaikum means peace and blessing be unto you. Nyamena sumdre enkan, it is a prayer. Me mama ajo is a greeting. Two different things. Me mama ajo is a greeting. Me mama ajo is a greeting. Kotukoli will say na danenga. Na danenga. Sanun kudaini. Sanun kudaini. In Hausa, me mama ajo in tree. It is never salamu alaikum. Salamu alaikum is not a greeting, it's a prayer. And when you step on someone's toe and you say gafra, you spoke Arabic. Kafra is Arabic word gafara. And if you are to say forgive me, from the root word istighfar. How did they get this? How did they get this information? Because they used to eat shellings, and the shellings is even written in Arabic language. So these things, they are there. So what the kafra from the root is gafara. It is never a Akan language. Akan language don't say kafra, they say kose. Gafra is Arabic language. You understand? So some of these things you are so funny, they are not the same. They are not the same. Assalamu alaikum is a prayer. If an Arab wants to say good morning, he says Sabah al Khair. Memoachi Sabah al Khair. If it is good afternoon, they say Masa al Khair or Masa al Nur. Masa al Khair or Masa al Nur. If it is good evening, they say the same. So this is Arabic way of greeting in their culture. But Salamu alaikum is Islam. There is difference between Arabic culture and an Islam. They are not the same. The Arabic culture varies from Islamic norms and values. You understand? One day I'll come and teach you the difference between Arabic culture and Islam. It is not one. So when even an Arab applies his culture in Islam, we say this is bid'ah. We don't accept it. There are difference between Arabic culture and also Islam, inshallah.
They copied everything from us, repackage it to come and destroy us. So please let me flow as accordingly. Look, let me do some comparison. When you go to...
You see, when people begin to lie like They copied everything from us and they packaged it and brought it back to us. Who are those people that brought Islam back to you? What kind of lies are you perpetrating? Source, volume, page, number. Where is it coming from? Where is your source? We've been telling you the Prophet ﷺ had companions who are Africans. You understand? So when you begin to say that the entire world learned everything from you, you greet what do you call it? The Arabs greet Sabah al-Khair. You say good afternoon, they say Masa'ul Nur or Masa'ul Khair. You say on what is saying, they say Kaif or Kaif Haluk. It is their language. Every language should be respected, as the Quran says in Quran 49 verse 13. Ya ayuhan nas, inna halakanakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. It is Allah who created all these languages and all these tribes, so that we know each other. Not that this language copied from that language and that language copied from this language. Not that at all, far from that. You understand? Nowhere did any people come here to learn from us, take it back there and copied it and written it and brought it to us. It is a lie. Stop your lies, Ultra. So how were they greeting each other? How did the Arabs used to greet each other before here? How were the English greeting each other before they came and learned from the Ghanaians and take it over there? They weren't greeting each. You mean they weren't greeting each other at all? This kind of they brought religion to us to deceive us. They brought religion to us to deceive us. It's nonsensical and it doesn't make sense. Ask me why. Because if I brought poison to you to kill you, if I intend to poison you and I put the poison in the food, I myself will not consume that food. I will not eat that food because I know there is poison in it. And even if you catch me and tell me to eat it, I will refuse to eat it because if I eat, I know I will die. The question is, why are the whites embracing Islam? How many of the blacks go to Hajj? How many of the blacks go to Hajj? How many are you? How many are you? Countable. You are thousands. Millions are from the whites going to Mecca every day. Each and every day, people are embracing Islam. People are embracing Islam from Europe, from West. Every day they are embracing Islam. If it is there to deceive you, if they brought it to deceive you, if it is a lie, if there is nothing in them, then there is no need at all for them to even practice it. Stop this childish argument and move on. Grow up in life. What you are doing will not change anything. It won't change Ghanaian economy. It won't change anything. Your grandfathers, your ancestors have done this before. It did not end them well. None of them ended well. Some of them, we know them. Their names are mentioned already. And they were even far better than you.
Jerusalem, they have a wall there which people kiss. Mecca, there's a wall there we go around.
First of all, there is no wall in Jerusalem that people kiss. The Wailing Wall, they don't kiss it. They don't kiss it. Even there is a law from the Jewish literatures that forbids them from kissing the Wailing Wall or any stone over there. They, according to Judaism, they don't kiss it. They don't kiss it. So stop those lies. Stop those lies at all. It does not suit you at all. Secondly, in Mecca, there is not a wall. It is a square building, a cube building. The Kaaba is a square building, not a wall. We have difference between wall and then a building. Sometimes when you come out to lie, fear God. Now, let me educate this guy that feels he know, but let me educate him a little bit. The circumambulating around the Kaaba, I'm about to take you through scientific aspect of it, in its, as I will call it, tawaf, in its cosmic law. You understand? Almighty Allah Azza wa Jalla says in Quran chapter number 21 verse number 33 that وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ. It is he who created layl, the night, وَالنَّهَارِ, and the day, وَالشَّمْسَ, and the sun, وَالْقَمَرَ, and the moon, كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ, each floating in an orbit. Now let's come to wisdom behind circumambulating around the Kaaba. You will know that this glorious verse refers to a scientific fact concerning the system of the universe. Scientific discoveries have proved that we live in a huge universe that depends on revolution. Now, the earth revolves around the sun once a year, and the moon revolves around the earth per lunar month. Note this. And there are other planets of the solar system which also revolve around the sun, each in its own orbit. Besides, most of these planets have moons that revolves around them, each also in its own orbit. Now, astronomers have discovered more than 60 of the moons so far. More than 60 of the moons so far. Note that the solar system, likewise, it also orbits a center of our galaxy. It also orbits a center of our galaxy, which is called the Milky Way. This galaxy consists of more than 130 billion stars. Note that the galaxies in turn revolve around a center that Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala only knows. Now, the law of revolution applies to atoms. Note that the atoms, they are the smallest units of element that cannot be seen by microscopes. Again, when we say an atom, then we are talking about nucleus, whose diameter is less than a millionth of a millimeter, and an atom is surrounded by electrons that move around it. So on the electron we have the K shell, we have the L shell, we have the M shell, we have the N shell, and name them. Since all matter in the universe, whether solid, liquid, gaseous, or name them, consists of atoms, this means that the law of revolution applies to everything: the star, the planet, the moon, animals, plants, sun, sea, air, and everything and so on. All of them, the law of revolution applies to them. And this includes cells as well. So the cytoplasm in the cell moves around the nucleus. Note, we are just doing a little bit of science today, so you will have to forgive me on this. So there is a common factor between the orbital movement of all the objects, which is referred to such as the stars, the moon, named in the galaxies, in which we're talking about the revolution. Is called a counter-clockwise direction. So it is obviously clear in the cosmic law that everything is in constant motion, circumambulating. So you will agree with me that human being meeting at the center of the earth to circumambulate around the Kaaba, in which the Kaaba is in the center of the earth, is exactly the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described that everything on earth is worshiping him. And so therefore human beings are also worshiping him. You don't have problems when atoms or electrons move around the nucleus of an atom, but you have every problem when Muslims may make this natural act of worship, and you say the Muslims are doing this, they are doing that. Sometimes you don't get it. Now it is also of a spirituality and symbolic act of worship, in which whose wisdom is hidden from some. Many of you do not understand this. It indicates the believers' utter submission to Almighty Allah alone. The pilgrims go to Hajj in response to divine order from the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Hajj, verse 26 to 27, where it says, وَإِذْ بَوَّأَنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ الْبَيْتِ أن لا تشرك بي شيئا وطهر بيتي للطائفين والقائمين وركع السجود. We showed Abraham the location of the house. Do not associate anything with me, and purify my house for those who circle around, and those who stand to pray, and those who kneel and prostrate. وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق. And announce the pilgrimage to humanity. They will come to you on foot and on every transport. La ilaha illallah. They will come from every distance. Are you not surprised? The white are traveling from China, from Europe, from Japan, from India, from America, from everywhere, from Africa. Today, it is the command of Allah. It is the doings of Allah. None of you can stop this. So apart from this also, it is also, we circumambulate around the Kaaba 7 times. Each circumambulation is to lift you up from your evil soul, your evil spirit, the spirit that makes you commit evil, commit a lie, fornicate. That evil soul, evil spirit, evil forces, negative forces that does not allow you to worship God. It lifts you from that nafsul amara to be su'u to nafsul mutma'inna. So each circumambulation is uplifting your soul to a highest rank. Some of you guys don't know. You come around to brag. Let us do what we understand. Let us do what we do. It is spirituality, not your own problem.
When you go to Jerusalem, we have Zamzam River. Jordan. Holy, they fetch water for you. You go to Mecca, there's Zamzam.
Ignorance at its peak. Even Jerusalem does not have Jordan River. From Jerusalem to the Jordan River is 88 kilometers. 88 kilometers difference. It is not in Jerusalem. You need to do your assignment very well before you come out here to claim bossy or to come out to exhibit your ignorance. Again, Zamzam is not also a river. Zamzam is a well, not a river. Two different things. Jerusalem had their river. Zamzam is not a river, but a well. They are not the same thing. At least do your homework a little bit before you come out. And the Zamzam is a history, how it came about. But I cannot talk about the Jordan River for now. Zamzam has to do with how Ishmael alayhi salam's mother took him there, and how he was thirsty, and an angel spoke to Sayyidatuna Hajara, that Sayyidah Hajara, oh Princess Hajara, look at beneath the foot of the boy, and she saw water gushing out from the ground, and she made it a well. So in the days of Sidi Abdul Muttalib was when he reconstructed the well again. You understand? Zamzam is a well, Zamzam is not a river. There is difference between well and a river. Note that.
Go to Jerusalem, this Christianity, they use tasbih. Muslims will use it.
This guy should stop associating himself with Muslims. Muslims will use it. You are not a Muslim. You are a kafir, an apostate, a murtad. You are not a Muslim. You are far away from Islam, bro. You are not a Muslim. And again, yes, the Christians might not all Christians even use tasbih. Not all Christians. Tasbih is just a counting. They use it for counting. For example, if I'm to do subhanallah 1,000 times, I can even use my hand to do it. It is not compulsory to hold the tasbih. And everyone knows that this tasbih right here in my room is different from that of the Christians. It is not the same thing. And among the Christians, only few of them uses tasbih. You understand? Or maybe half of them, not all of them. It is not mandatory for Christians to even use tasbih. And also in Islam, it is not mandatory. You can choose your hands. You can use your hands. The Prophet ﷺ himself did not hold tasbih on his hand. It is for counting. So, for example, if I'm to count 1 to 1,000, you believe you use calculator. Why didn't you use calculator? Why don't you have problems with using calculator, but you have a problem with using what do you call it, a tasbih? It is for counting. 1, subhanallah, 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 subhanallah. The complete one is 100. So if you want to do 1,000, I use it. Nowadays, you even use something like a watch that we press. So it is a calculator, just a calculator. If you have a problem with that, you should have a problem with your students and your children at schools using calculators to add 1 plus 1 and subtract 1 minus 2. You are not applying sense in your submissions, bro.
In Christianity, they have 2 festivals, Easter and Christmas. In Islam, we have 2. So during this time, every sacrifices go to their idols.
Now, trying to associate Christianity with Islam and saying Christians have 2 festivals, the Muslims have 2 festivals. Are the festivals the same? The Christians practice Easter and then they practice Christmas. They celebrate Easter, in which their God was killed and hung on a cross, and they said he resurrected on the 3rd day. And the Christmas was when he was born. This is Christianity. 2 different things. When you come to Africa, they also have their own kind of festivals. In Islam, we have Eid al-Fitr, we have Eid al-Adha. Now, you said their sacrifice goes to their idols. No, Muslims don't have idols. We don't believe in idolatry. Believe in your idolatry, we don't believe in idolatry. Islam is purely an act of worship direct to the Almighty God. We don't believe in idolatry. Maybe you don't know the meaning of idolatry. Now, let's look at sacrifices, whether the sacrifices go to Allah. In Quran chapter number 22, verse number 36 to 37, it says, والبدن جعلناها لكم من شعائر الله لكم فيها خير. We have made the animal offerings, not sacrifices, offerings, emblems of Allah for you. In them is goodness. لكم فيها خير. In them is goodness for you. When you kill the animal, you give your brother some to eat. You understand? فَاذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا سَوَّافًا. So pronounce Allah's name upon them as they line up. So when you want to slaughter the animal, pronounce Allah's name on it. Not any idol. Not Lata, not Manata, not Uza, not Antwa, not Tridine. Name them, not any of the idols. فَإِذَا وَجَبَتْ جُنُوبُهَا فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْقَانِعَ وَالْمُعْتَرَّ. Al-Qani'a wal-Mu'tarra. It says, then when they are fallen on their sides, eat of them and feed the content to the beggar. كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرْنَاهَا لَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. That's, we have subjected them to you that you may be thankful. Now note something, verse 37, it says, note here, لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهُ لُحُومُهَا. Neither their flesh, وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا, nor their blood, ever reaches Allah. وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى. What reaches him is the righteousness from you. So, and you are saying the sacrifices goes to Allah, the sheep goes to Allah, the blood goes to Allah. Brother, update your sense more and stop lying. كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرَهَا لَكُمْ لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Thus he subdued them to you, the animals to you, that you may glorify Allah for guiding you. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, and give good news to the charitable. So the whole show is for charity. At least Allah says in a year, once in a year, try and do some charity. Once. That's it. And once we did there, they lie to people.
So we live in this country, even a pin we cannot manufacture. We said we don't like our own local goods. It's the foreign commodities that we want. So we import almost everything.
Sometimes I ask myself, these guys, do they even reason before they talk? What have you manufactured? You don't believe in Islam. You don't believe in Christianity. You have chosen to believe in your own tribal belief system. What have you manufactured? What have you manufactured? What have you invented? Tell the whole world, we want to listen. You who do not believe in these things, what have you been able to manufacture? What have you been able to invent? Tell us, the whole world is listening to you. You guys are empty as an empty container. Chrome. There is nothing in your head. You've not been able to manufacture anything or produce anything. Ibrahim Mahama is a Muslim. He has one of the biggest factories in Ghana. He's been producing cement and others over there. Safu Kantanka is a Christian and he's been producing cars. You are not a Christian. You are not a Muslim. What have you and Maame Grace been able to invent or manufacture? Tell us. Nana Kokubonsam and others who have been practicing idolatry, what have they been able to manufacture? We want to listen. We want to hear. When they tell us, we will follow them. You've not been able to do FOCO. 99% of the schools in Ghana were built by Muslims and Christians. Hospitals, Muslims and Christians. Factories, Muslims and Christians. The camera in front of you were invented by Muslims and believers. Chinese were Buddhists, yet Buddhism was from India. The whites some of them are Muslims. It did not stop them from progress. Their embracing Islam does not stop their progress. Instead of you to question what they are teaching your children at school, instead of you to correct, tell them tell the government to invest in technical schools. You are here condemning religion. Are you normal? Go to Japan and see. Go to China and see. They are embracing Islam each and every day. Who told you they are not Muslims? Who told you these people are not religious? Sometimes you need to reason small. Reason small. Reason small. Reason. Apply simple sense. Kakra. Na trash umutiri mudodo. Share the video for us. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on YouTube. and Facebook, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Malam Adam Heba and Spiritual Center. Mashallah.
Takbir.
Akbar.
Annabi Muhammadu Sayyidun Annabi Muhammadu Adin Annabi Muhammadu Muhudin Annabi Muhammadu Muqaddamu Annabi Muhammadu Azizun Annabi Muhammadu Fadilun Annabi Muhammadu Mufaddilun Annabi Muhammadu Muhammad Annabi Muhammadu Muhammad Annabi Rasulallah